Okay. What's going on, people? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. And you already know what's going down today. So guess what, bruh? So turn it off, turn it all the way off. Yeah! I don't want to be too loud. My son is in school right now doing a virtual school thing. But anyway, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns. This is Sports Plus Life, that there sports talk show where we talk about all the necessary sports topics that need to be discussed. And boy, has it been a full slate. We also talk about life as well. And boy, has that been a full slate also. So, I hope everybody's doing good. It is a beautiful fall day here in the Richmond, VA. Currently, what I'm seeing is at about 62 degrees, which is my kind of weather, bruh. My kind of weather. Oh, man. And this is the 99th episode of Sports Plus Life. The next episode will be number 100. Episode 100. Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, special thank you to all the little people that I may have stepped on along the way. Thank you for letting me step on you. Because I said, get your monkey ass out my way. I'm coming through. But I'm just playing. But anyway, it is Wednesday, September 30th, 2020. We almost out of here, everybody. We almost at 2021. We getting close. We are getting close. But before I start talking about sports, please tell me, did y'all see that presidential debate last night? I'm going to tell you something. When I tell you that shit was too hot for TV, to me that was just straight comedy. That was just straight comedy. I mean, you had Donald Trump being as petty and petulant as ever, wouldn't let Joe Biden talk. I felt sorry for the moderator. A lot of people was coming for Chris Wallace, but I mean, when you have a dude like that, when you have one guy who is so rude, who is so blatantly rude, and that's what people who know deep down inside or are so narcissistic see that they're not wrong. That's what people do. That's what people like that do. You know, people who are insecure in themselves know that they're wrong, or if not because of pure narcissism, they interrupt you. They try to overtalk you to make it look like they're right, you're wrong, they know what they're talking about, and you don't. And you could clearly see that Joe Biden was getting pissed off for the fact that he told him, well, you shut up, man. And he called him a clown a couple of times. I mean, I'll tell you, that was something special. That was really something special. And they wasted no time. I'll tell you, about 5 minutes into that debate, it just got ugly. Back and forth arguing. I mean, Chris Wallace should have brought in a hooker to calm both of these two dudes the fuck down. I'm serious. I mean, it was just crazy. But you know, the one part told me everything that I needed to know. When the moderator said to Trump, would you denounce white supremacy and racism? And he could not do it.
God damn it! God damn!
Oh, hell no!
He tried to dance and skate around the questions. He said, well, I could denounce it. And Joe Biden said, well, do it. And he just simply said, stand down and stand by. He couldn't do it. He could not do it. There shouldn't even be no more debates. He told you everything you needed to freaking know about him and about where he stands with racism, injustice, and all of that shit. He told you right there. He told you everything you needed to know. Everything. And why do you think that is? Why do you think he simply could not denounce it? Why he gave a tap dancing ass answer like he did? Because who do you think is funding his campaign? White supremacists. I don't care if they're billionaire business owners. White supremacists are funding him this money. He can't denounce that. Of course he should, but who are we talking about here? You know, that to me told me everything that I needed to know. The rest of the shit to me was just comedy. And then he said bad things happen in Philadelphia. Yo, Philly, did you hear that shit? I mean, I know Philadelphia don't count for the whole state of Pennsylvania, but Philadelphia, did you hear that? I mean, that's just crazy. And then his son got on afterwards and did an interview, and he sounded worse than his damn daddy, because earlier during the debate, they had questioned him about the incident that happened in Charlottesville, Virginia, a couple of years ago. And then his son gets on gets on the interview and asks Gayle King, good job, Gayle. Ask him, are you proud of your father tonight? He's like, I'm always proud of my father. And he's called the Charlottesville thing a hoax. A hoax, dog. A hoax, my nigga. Somebody died there. That's not a hoax. There's video evidence that proves that somebody was killed during that rally where KKK people were there, which Trump, by the way, would say were very fine people. Come on, man. Come on, man. You seeing everything that you need to see. You know, and the thing about it is that I have friends who I know are actually gonna vote for Trump. I don't know if their minds have been changed or what, but I know, you know, prior to social injustice and even with the pandemic, but social injustice and everything like that, you know, we're already saying that they were going to vote for Trump, and I don't judge. That's your business. You know, I'm not going to look down on you or anything like that, even if you still vote for him, because I know that my friends aren't supremacists. But he is showing you everything you need to see, every single detail as far as where he is at. He doesn't bring Americans together. His mission is to divide and conquer. You know, it's just crazy. And, you know, the fact that, you know, he knew that there's audio of him acknowledging in February about how serious the coronavirus was, and he just downplayed it, and over 200,000 people have died on his watch. Bro, I know if I had over 200,000 deaths on my hand, I'd get lethal injection and the electric chair probably at the same damn time. That's murder. Because of your negligence, because you didn't want to quote unquote have people start a panic, so people's lives were going to be lost because of it. Like, dog, he said Joe Biden would shut the country down. Yeah, the country should have been shut down. Look at all of the countries across the world who did just that. They shut down, and now they're good. They're good. And America has been the worst in the world as far as dealing with the coronavirus pandemic because of, like I said, shows back arrogance and ignorance and entitlement. And what has that led to? That has led to families being destroyed, lives being ruined, or lives being lost because you wanted to downplay it. I get sick and tired of hearing people talk about, well, the economy this, we have to go forward, the economy that. The government runs the economy. So you mean to tell me that for the month of March or for the month of April, you couldn't just hit the stop button, the pause button? You know, don't send out any bills, no nothing. Everything covered, just stay in your home. We're going to literally hit the pause button, and after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, we're going to hit the play button or the reset button. That could have been done. But we talk about economy, money. But that's what it's all about. That's really what it's all about, and at the expense of people's lives. But you don't care about that. But that shit should have been on BET. That was like a old school reality show reunion where everybody getting ready to jump off the couch and slap the shit out of each other. I mean, those two, man, it was crazy. That was hilarity. That was TV entertainment at its finest. Also stupidity at its finest. Stupidity at the highest level. Man, I'm telling you, if I was a political figure in another country, I would have been on my back, popcorn on my stomach, tears coming out my eyes, me clutching my stomach because I'm laughing so hard. I'm serious. For real. I mean, y'all remember the movie Head of State when Chris Rock was debating the vice president, who was still the sitting vice president, and they literally were like, I know you are, but what am I? 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 That's pretty much what it was reduced to. And like I said, it was just a sad-ass sight. It was. So the presidential debate last night gets a big one of these. I mean. So anyway. All right. Now, I guess I can go ahead and get into sports now. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, I'll hop right in it with the breaking news that just came out not too long ago. Well, it won't even be breaking news anymore by the time, the podcast loads up. But, it is what it is.
Biatch.
The NFL has postponed the game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Tennessee Titans as news came out yesterday that 8 people affiliated with the Tennessee Titans, 3 player and 5 staff, had tested positive for COVID-19, and there was a lot of questions that were surrounding everything as the Titans had to shut down their facility. The Minnesota Vikings had to shut down their facility as well because they were the last team to play the Titans. Now, what has happened with the Vikings is that nobody has tested. They did 2 rounds of tests for the Minnesota Vikings. Both of them came back with absolutely nobody from the Vikings organizations, players or coaches or anybody having COVID-19. So they're in the clear. Their game will go on against the Houston Texans. Their game will go on as scheduled. As for the Steelers and the Titans, I mean, not to be, this was a big game. You had 2 undefeated 3-0 teams, 2 undefeated first place teams who, this was a big game. Now, I don't know exactly when they're going to have a makeup. I mean, possible, it possibly could be Monday. I know the NFL said in a statement today that a new game date and time will be announced as soon as possible. So I've heard things as possibly Monday. You would just have 2 Monday night games, or even possibly on Tuesday. So, that wouldn't be the first time that's happened. The difference is, because I know the last time they had a Tuesday night game was, I want to say 10 years ago, when the roof collapsed in the Metrodome because of snow, and it had to postpone a Monday night game between the Vikings and I want to say the Bears, maybe something like that. But I know, it was because the roof collapsed in the Metrodome. This is a little different because with the Titans facility shut down, because at first, they were just going to go through and say, hey, look, man, you're going to deal with it. Y'all going to play Sunday. But, you can't practice for football on Zoom meetings. So I think, if they reopen the facility on Saturday, you can have practice Saturday and Sunday, and I guess go for Monday, or maybe Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and go for Tuesday. We'll see. It's only 1 game. I don't want to say the NFL dodged a bullet because they didn't, because they're going to have a game postponed. And now, but hopefully, definitely people will look out and continue to be mindful, because it's hit college football. The college football is pushing through. I have to give Major League Baseball credit because it hit them too. Remember, a week within the season, the Miami Marlins, pretty much like their whole team, caught the coronavirus. And yesterday was the beginning of the Major League Baseball playoffs. So shout out to them, even though Manfred's a fucking idiot. Anyway, so hopefully the league will continue to be more mindful. The players, not necessarily the league, the players and coaches will be more mindful. And hopefully this will be the only case that we have to deal with during the season, because thus far, the first 3 weeks, it's been smooth. It's been smooth. Nobody was testing positive or anything like that. And everything was all right, but now you have a little mini outbreak, and let's see what happens from there. But now, as far as week 4 goes, now I did a YouTube video the other day, basically giving my wrap up for week 3. So I'm not going to go into week 3. I'm just going to, because I already did that. You can check out that video. But I'm going to go into my picks for week 4 to see how things shake out. Now, the Thursday night game, why bother even watching it? I'm not even trying to be funny. And my team is playing it. The Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. as a Broncos fan, I am embarrassed. We suck. I mean, we really, this is the first time I have ever said this as a Bronco fan, and I have been a Bronco fan damn near my whole life. We stink. We really do. Injuries has hit us, and bad coaching has hit us, and we stink. We play the New York Jets, who may stink worse than us. But where the Jets actually have the advantage, we're starting our third quarterback. We're starting a third-string quarterback, Brett Rippon, the nephew of the former Super Bowl champion quarterback from the then-known Washington Redskins, Mark Rippon. And again, Drew Lock is out for a couple more weeks. Cortland Sutton out the rest of the season. We just found out Jarrell Casey, torn bicep. He's out for the rest of the season. You know, we already know, like, I don't know if I just said Von Miller. We already know out. A.J. Bouye hasn't played since the first half of week 1. We're starting 2 rookie cornerbacks, and we stink. We do. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets beat us. As a Broncos fan, I'm going to say, yeah, the Broncos are going to win. But realistically, the Jets have the advantage. And they suck. They really stink. I mean, them and the Giants, oh my God. New York football. I hope anybody who lives in New York, who's a New York football fan, needs to start claiming Buffalo. Because the Jets and the Giants are horrible. Horrible. Let's see. So now let's get to Sunday's matchups. Colts and the Bears. Well, as you guys know, the Bears benched Mitch Trubisky after he was playing horrible against the Falcons, who the Falcons blew another double-digit fourth quarter lead. The Bears are 3-0 by accident. I'm serious. I mean, they are. How the hell are the Chicago Bears 3-0? Be that as it may, they are 3-0. The Colts just beat up on the Jets last week, so you know they're riding high. Everybody is high on their defense, but I'm not gonna get overly excited about the Colts defense because in week 1 Jacksonville lit them up, and then they played. They just played the Jets and they played the Minnesota Vikings, whose offense has been nothing to write home about. Even though the Vikings performed better on Sunday, they still lost. So that game, I'm going to go with the Colts. I'll go with the Colts on that game. And we'll see if their defense is real, because I actually think now Nick Foles has never played well outside of Philadelphia. But the Bears have talent on offense, and they're fast. Allen Robinson's a great receiver. Anthony Miller's a very fast receiver. Tariq Cohen is a dual threat back. And did I just say I'm picking the Colts to win? Nah, you know what? I'm going to change that. I think Nick Foles needs to win to prove the Chicago coaches right. Because if he stays healthy, I think that's it for Mr. Trubisky in Chicago. And I'm sure Chicago fans don't mind that. I mean, if I'm a Chicago Bears fan and I look at Mitch Trubisky, I want to throw up. I mean, this guy was picked second in the 2017 draft. He was picked ahead of Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Really? If I looked at him, I would want to puke. Yeah, they had 2018 where they won 12 games, which was largely based on the defense, and they lost the playoff game. And who did they lose the playoff game to? The quarterback who's replacing you, Nick Foles. So, yeah, I said Colts, but I'm going to, now that I've talked myself into going with the Bears. Jacksonville at Cincinnati, I think that's going to be an interesting game because I think Jacksonville is kind of better than what people give them credit for. Burrow and the Bengals just came off of a tie with the Eagles. Philly, what the fuck? Anyway, who to go with in that game? who to pick? Who to pick? I'm gonna pick Cincinnati at home. I think I like their offensive weapons. Cleveland at Dallas. I like what the Cleveland Browns are doing. I like what they're doing. Stefanski is making sure the two foundations of his football team are well into place. The offensive line and the defensive line. He's turning Baker Mayfield into exactly what Baker Mayfield needs to be right now, and that is a game manager. He has two stalwart running backs, and he's going to ride them till the wheels fall off. And all of this talk about trading Odell Beckham, that's not going to happen. Why? Because he's their biggest play action threat. You keep running the ball like you can run the ball because you have a great offensive line. When play action comes, that's going to be easy. I like what the Cleveland Browns have going. I don't think Baker Mayfield needs to throw the ball more than 25 times a game. What Baker Mayfield needs to do is put up Troy Aikman numbers. For real. Maybe get like 3,500 yards passing. That's all he needs to do. Nick Chubb is a special running back. Kareem Hunt is a special running back, and they're working it. You know, they're 2-1, winning record for the first time in 6 years. They're going to Dallas. Like I said last week, Dallas is not a good football team. Individual talent and being a good football team is totally different. They lost to Seattle, a shootout at Seattle, and people are giving Dak Prescott so much credit. I mean, he's throwing for over 400 yards a game because they're always losing. They're always losing by double digits, and then you have to take away the threat of the run. So, I mean, don't let that fool you. And Dallas, and when has Dallas ever played well at home? I firmly believe that the Cleveland Browns are going to win this game. Dallas is a Falcons collapse, and that's what the Falcons do. They're a Falcons collapse away from being 0-3. The NFC East is shit. So I am going with the Cleveland Browns to win this game. New Orleans at Detroit. Man, New Orleans needs this. You know, they came off of the Sunday night game against Green Bay. They lost. Can't say that was really Drew Brees' fault. That game really turned when Sean Payton tried to get cute with one of those trick plays with Taysom Hill, and he fumbled. Drew Brees didn't look bad. He's still not airing it down the field. I mean, I don't know if he's waiting for Michael Thomas to come back or if he's just getting old before our very eyes. And they're playing a Detroit team who, despite their coach, Matt Patricia, being an arrogant Belichick wannabe, they've actually played some decent football. They just had their collapse week 1 against the Bears. But then the Lions surprised everybody going into Arizona and beating the Cardinals. Adrian Peterson had 75 yards rushing, and he's been pretty much named the number 1 tailback in Detroit. People keep trying to retire my man AP, but he keeps on saying, "Bitch, I'm not old." And if they feed him 20 to 25 times a game, that's good balance. He's still showing pop and explosiveness. You know, this could be a very good game. I'm going to go with desperation because I think the Saints are getting towards desperation only because they're behind Tampa Bay. Seattle at Miami, I don't need to even waste no time on that. Seattle. Chargers at Bucks. Now, I heard Mike Greenberg say that the team to beat in the NFC is Tampa Bay. That's funny to me. And, I'm a fan of Greenies. But he's saying how, now it's starting to look like a Tom Brady-led offense, and they have such a great defense. They do have a lively defense. But, bruh, you beat the Panthers and the Broncos. You beat the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey got hurt. You beat the Broncos. We suck. We're pathetic. Tom Brady didn't play great against us. They scored 28 points. They got a safety, a couple field goals. He had 1-yard touchdown passes to Mike Evans. We're starting 2 rookie corners. We're starting 2 rookie cornerbacks. He should have ate our ass up. So I'm not. I think they'll beat the Chargers because the Chargers are starting a rookie quarterback. Justin Herbert last week looked like a rookie quarterback. He looked like a rookie quarterback with promise, but nonetheless a rookie quarterback who's going to lose games like this. But I'm not going off the hinges as far as it goes with Tampa Bay, because you beat the Panthers and the Broncos. Those are 2 games that you should have won. Let's be honest. The Baltimore Ravens at the DC Dickich. Hey, look, the way Baltimore looked on Monday night, for the most part, they're going to be angry, and they're going to need a bounce-back win because Patrick Mahomes embarrassed Lamar Jackson on Monday Night Football for the world to see. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is clearly in a class by himself. The way he throws that football, the accuracy is like no other. And I expect the Ravens to call Antonio Brown because they need him. There are about 7 teams that I thought that could use Antonio Brown. About 3 of them I would say would go to the Super Bowl and win. And those teams are Baltimore, Green Bay, because if Green Bay got Antonio Brown, good Lord. Seattle, but I'm ready to take them off the equation because they don't need Antonio Brown. Plus, they have Josh Gordon coming back for what that's worth. But the Houston Texans, the Philadelphia Eagles, they need another weapon. The New Orleans Saints, and who was that last team? I'm not going to say the Patriots because the Patriots they're not going to take him. And obviously the Raiders are not going to take him. Oh, and the 49ers. Yes, the 49ers. The 49ers. Big time. The 49ers need him. Yeah. Those 7 teams, if they have any Super Bowl aspirations, needs Antonio Brown. The Ravens need Antonio Brown. They do. They really do. They need him. They need to call him. They need to sign him. After week 8, his suspension is up. You sign Antonio Brown, you've now leveled the playing field with Patrick Mahomes because the way they run the ball opens up for play action, and he would line up next to his cousin, Marquise Hollywood Brown, who's a track star. He can take the top off of any defense. AB can still take the top off of any defense. Plus, he's an outstanding slot receiver. But I have the Ravens beating the Dickich, who at 1-2 are still tied for first place in that horrible NFC East. And then the next game, the Arizona Cardinals at the Carolina Panthers. I think Kyler Murray's going to have a bounce back game. The Carolina Panthers are they're a good team. They're a respectable team. They play hard. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. Teddy Bridgewater's a better quarterback than people want to give him credit for, but I think Kyler's going to have a bounce back game. The Vikings at the Texans, 2 0-3 teams who are just making me look bad, man. They're making me look bad. Well, actually, I didn't have no expectation from the Vikings, but the Texans, they were my dark horse team, so I'm going to ride with the Texans. I heard they were supposed to sign Earl Thomas, but then backed out at the last minute. I mean, I'd have signed him. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't in shape like he needed to be. The Giants at the Rams, man, the Giants are pathetic. I mean, they are pathetic. The 49ers have their JV team playing them last week, and the Niners still won by 4 touchdowns. I mean, Joe Judge, no, Dave Gettleman, he needs to go. He needs to go. Of course I'm picking the Rams, who were robbed last week in Buffalo. Big game in the late window, the Patriots at the Chiefs. Whew. Now, I'll never bet against the Belichick defense. But what are you going to take away? I mean, if you take Tyreek Hill away, there's McCole Hardman. If you take McCole Hardman away, there's Tyreek Hill. If you take Travis Kelce away, there's Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman and Sammy Watkins and DeMarcus Robinson and the running back. So it's like, damn. What are you going to do? You still have 9 players from that team that opted out because of COVID. Respect. But geez, what are you going to do? At Kansas City? Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. Another interesting matchup, Buffalo at Vegas. Vegas came back down to earth by getting bitch slapped by New England last week. Buffalo, they blew a 28-3 lead and then got help from the officials to beat the Rams. Be that as it may, they're 3-0. It's at Vegas. Damn, that's a tough game because to me the Raiders have to make the playoffs this year. Because it looks like John Gruden has them in the right direction. But John Gruden as a career coach had really only had 3 good years when he was truly an elite coach. 2000, 2001, then move over to the Bucs. 2002, win the Super Bowl. Goes to the playoffs with Tampa in 05 and 07. But other than that, you know, you have the Super Bowl trophy, and behind that is just mediocre. So, I mean, and so I think, you know, I know maybe Earl Thomas should go to the Raiders. Serious. Because they need some defensive help. I'm just being honest. So I'm going to go with Buffalo. Josh Allen is playing pretty good. They need to learn how to hold a lead as well. And the Sunday night game, interesting, the Eagles at the 49ers. The Eagles tied with the Bengals. The Bengals. They're 0-2-1. Better than a loss, I know. But the sad part about it is, like I said, 6-10, 7-9 will win the NFC East. As badly as they're playing, and as much confidence as Doug Peterson has appeared to have lost in Carson Wentz, they're still in the thick of things for their division against a banged up 49ers team, but they are very, very well coached. But I'm going to go with Philadelphia because they have to. And the Monday night game, Atlanta and Green Bay, I'm not even going to. There's going to be a lot of points scored, but Green Bay is going to win. The Falcons can't hold a lead to save their nuts. So that's my picks for week 4 in the NF of the L. Let's move on to the NB of the A, shall we? Well, tonight is game 1 of the NBA Finals. We got here in this extended 2020 season where right now teams should be reporting to training camp for the start of the 2020-2021 year. We are at the 2020 NBA Finals, and it is between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat. The Heat, kind of the Cinderella story of this NBA bubble, if you will. But a lot of people just give them a puncher's chance. There's some people that give them no chance. This is a Heat team. Now, I'm going to warn you, because I said after the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant, y'all know I'm not a LeBron fan, but he's wearing purple and gold. I've been trying to tolerate him. And I'm a complete fan of what he does off the court, particularly with the social injustice issues. I applaud him, definitely. But get it done, bro. In the year that Kobe passes, get it done. Look, in my book, you'll never pass Jordan. So people can have that debate all they want to. Now, unless some way he gets to 7 titles, and I don't see that. And honestly, in my book, I have Kareem as being the GOAT, because he's the most accomplished. Kareem is accomplished at every level of basketball. To me, he's the best. So he's not going to pass him, especially with 6 NBA Finals losses on his resume. But I warn you, I'm gonna give you a flashback to 2004, when the Lakers, with Shaq and Kobe, and they had brought in Gary Payton and Karl Malone that season, went up against a Detroit Pistons team that didn't have anybody of MVP caliber. You know, Ben Wallace was a superstar based on his defense, but the rest of them were really solid players. Chauncey became a superstar, but still just, a really solid player. Chauncey, Rip Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace, Tayshaun Prince. And they were just such a disciplined defensive team. They shocked the Lakers in 5 games. And this, to me, is starting to have that same aroma. This Miami Heat team can shoot. They don't have anybody who can match up with LeBron James. More or less so, they don't have anybody who can match up with Anthony Davis. To me, the Anthony Davis-Bam Adebayo matchup is the most fascinating one. But the Heat are deep. And this is Jimmy Butler's first go-round in the finals. He's hungry. Bam, of course, Bam's first time. Goran Dragic. They blew up Tyler Hero a little too much after that game. He scored 37. I mean, I knew that the media was going to kiss his ass, but I didn't think they was going to let him teabag him and then have his baby. I mean, Jim Rome was calling him Baby Goat. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Oh, please. Shut up. I mean, come on, man. He's a rookie. He had a great game. Baby Goat, you're dismissed. But nonetheless, these guys can play. Duncan Robinson, and Andre Iguodala. How about that? Iggy going to 6 straight finals. He was on every single Warriors team that was finals MVP 5 years ago, and he's back with the Miami Heat. He's back in the NBA finals this time with the Miami Heat, looking for his 4th championship ring as well. So, how are the other guys of the Lakers? I know Rondo is going to show up. I have no question about that. But that's just really what I'm interested in. I'm interested in seeing how the other players are going to show up. How is Kuzma going to show up? JaVale McGee, this is his. JaVale McGee is no stranger to it. He's won a couple championships with Golden State. But how is Caruso going to show up? How is Waiters going to show up if he even gets any playing time? That's what I'm interested in. Because I know LeBron and AD, they're going to show up. Even though this is AD's first time in the finals, he's going to show up because they have nobody that can guard him. I mean, they can throw a collection of bodies out there. If they say they're going to put Jay Crowder on AD, that's laughable. That's like in the 99 finals when they tried to put Larry Johnson on Tim Duncan. That shit's not going to work. You could try to come in and throw Kelly Olynyk in there. I mean, the Lakers are just bigger than them. I mean, it just is what it is. The Lakers are bigger than them. You can dust off Udonis Haslem for another body to throw at LeBron and AD. So clearly, when it comes to size, the Lakers are the superior team. But I mean, there's something to be said about just something special happening in the air, and that's kind of the feeling you get with the Miami Heat. So game 1 is tonight. I like the Lakers in 6 games, a hard fought 6 games, but it's feeling like 2004. It is feeling like 2004. I remember it like it was yesterday. Everybody was calling for a Lakers sweep, and the Pistons pulled off the gentleman's sweep of the Lakers, and that's what broke up the Shaq and Kobe era. And it's just that I don't know, I hope Bron gets it done on the strength of the Mamba. But how sweet do you think this would be for Pat Riley, who put this team together, who of course has the ties with the Lakers and Showtime, and then the beef between him and LeBron because LeBron, of course, played in Miami and he kind of dissed him after the 2014 season. So this series definitely has storylines. It definitely has a storyline. So we'll see. And game 1 tonight. Let's get it. Let's get it. Come on, LA. Let's get it. And so yeah, I mean, gosh, it's just a damn shame that this has to be in a bubble. You're talking about Los Angeles versus Miami. You're talking about LeBron versus former team. You're talking about Venice Beach versus South Beach. You're talking about Pat Riley versus his old team. Oh, the tension is going to get very thick, very quick, especially if Miami can come out and steal game 1. Because little known fact, LeBron James is 1-8 in game 1s in the NBA Finals. And the one victory was 2011 with the Miami Heat against the Dallas Mavericks, a series that eventually they lost. So the matchups favor LA, but Miami is gritty. They're tough. Who can, when it's winning time, Jimmy Butler is something to be dealt with. Bam Bam has turned into a star, and this is going to be good. This should be good. This should be very good. In other basketball news, the Clippers let go of Doc Rivers. I mean, I wouldn't have, but in Doc's 7 years in LA, twice he had 3-1 leads with a chance to get to the Western Conference Finals, a place where that organization has never been, and he wet the bed. And they put out a lot of money and a lot of hype, especially when they got Kawhi, then the trade for Paul George. I think the only way Steve Ballmer would have accepted defeat, it was if it was to the Lakers. The fact that they collapsed to the Denver Nuggets in the second round, I think that had to have been what did it. Because if you're facing the Lakers, you think you have the better team, but it's the Lakers. It's LeBron. It's AD. So I honestly think that was Ballmer's method of thinking. It was like, if you lose, it can only be to the Lakers. And it wasn't. Let everybody down, man. Everybody was looking for that LA series. I know I was. But, shit happens. And now Doc Rivers is out of a job. But I don't think he'll be out of a job long if he wants to still keep coaching. I think the perfect place for him would be Philadelphia. Either Philadelphia or Indiana. I know Philadelphia was looking at what's his name? Mike D'Antoni. I would pump those brakes. I would, because his style of play, man, look, you really think Ben Simmons doesn't shoot. He don't shoot threes. You know what I mean? He doesn't. So that's all wrong. That is all wrong for Philadelphia. Go ahead and D'Antoni and go to the Indiana Pacers. But what is alarming to me is how many of these black coaches in the NBA have been let go. None of them have been no black coaches have been hired yet. That's kind of alarming, particularly in the NBA. That's kind of disturbing. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So with that being said, with a buzzer. Oh man, next episode, it will be the 100th episode of Sports Plus Life. That's crazy. Honestly, I should have been there. I should have been at 100. I should be closing in on episode 150, but I had a hiatus last summer, which did not happen again this past summer, and it's not going to happen again, period. But with that being said, it's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. Holla at me, y'all. Continue to be safe out there. I'm out this bitch. Peace.